Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. So today is a very exciting video. I'm going to be trying the Kokie Cosmetics Full Coverage Foundation. Now I'm super excited to give this a try. I've heard really good things about it. I did go ahead and pick this up at Rite Aid, which is the only store that you can get Kokie Cosmetics in person unless you go to like a beauty event like Ipsy or something. Sometimes Kokie is there. Otherwise you either have to order online or go to Rite Aid. Now this foundation is only available in Rite Aid for a certain amount of time. I think 2 more weeks that this foundation will be available in person, but after that you can purchase it online. But so yeah, anyways, if you want to see my review and demo on this foundation, then just keep on watching. Okay, so this foundation, I got it at Rite Aid for $9.99, and I also picked up the Soft Glow highlighter, which I'm going to be trying today, but I'm not doing like a review on it. I'm just going to test it out and see how it works. So like I said, this foundation was $9.99 and this highlighter was $5.99, so pretty reasonable prices. This foundation has 0.01 fluid ounces, so your average amount for a foundation. It does come with a pump, and the packaging is super cute. It's like kind of like a rose gold type of feel. I don't know if you can see, it's like rose gold and it's super pretty. I picked up the shade 20W, so hopefully this matches me because I did not pick up another shade. I think it's gonna be okay, but we will find out. But so yeah, let's just dive right in. I'm gonna put my hair up first because I am sweating. Okay, so to test out this foundation, I am going to be using a primer because that's what I always use. I do have super like oily combination skin and I just can't go without using primer, so I'm just going to use a primer today. And then to apply this foundation, I am going to be using my Real Techniques diamond sponge. I'm not going to be using a brush because I never ever use a brush for my foundation. It's very rare that that happens, so I'm just going to stick to my usual routine so I can see how this foundation usually works with products that I use all the time. So for primer, I'm going to be using the Tatcha Silk Canvas primer, and then the Smashbox Photo Finish primer water. Okay, so now the claims of this foundation: it's a full coverage lightweight foundation that delivers seamless matte complexion that will last all day. So that's all the back of this bottle says. And then online, let's see what it says. It says lightweight full coverage foundation, complete with a seamless silky matte finish, 18 shades available with varying undertones. It's lightweight, long wearing, and a matte finish. So it doesn't really claim too much besides lightweight, long wearing, and a matte finish. It does have 18 shades. It has a warm and a cool undertone. W means warm, which is what I got, and then C means cool. When I went to Rite Aid, they only had up to the shade 60, I believe. So they didn't have all 18 shades available at Rite Aid, so just keep that in mind. If you are a lot darker of a complexion, you won't be able to find this product in store because it only went, I want to say it went up to 60, and on here it goes up to 120. So, and I did not see 120 in store. But so yeah, on the Kokie Cosmetics website, this retails for $13. At Rite Aid, I picked it up for $10, so I saved $3, but nothing too crazy. And there are no reviews on this foundation yet on their website. So let's just dive on in. We know the claims, we know what it said it's gonna do, so let's just give it a try. Really hope this matches me because there's no going back. It looks like it's gonna match because the lightest shade was too light, then the next shade up was too dark, so. Oh, it smells like candy or something. I think it smells like candy. I forgot to mention, it does come out like a thicker foundation, but that's kind of expected when it's going to be something that claims that it's full coverage. But it smells really good, but it's not like a smell that I feel like would bother a lot of people. If you are very sensitive to like smell, like if you're that kind of person where you'd rather your stuff not have a scent at all, you probably wouldn't like this because it is a pretty strong scent, but personally I don't mind it. I think it smells really good. It smells like candy or something, I don't know. I'm just gonna move my mirror a little bit closer just so I can kind of see what it looks like up close so far. This match is like the most perfect match I've had in a foundation in a long time. Like the undertone, like everything about it, it matches me perfectly, so I'm glad I picked up this shade. So far, at first glance, it looks really, really good. It is a matte finish. Like, it's not a satin, it's not dewy. It is definitely matte. It looks fine on my nose. I do tend to get some dry patches around my nose, even though I'm super oily on my nose. It doesn't make sense. But it looks fine on my nose. It looks smooth, but it looks so good so far. It's like, I don't want to say it's completely full coverage right now. I want to say it's like in between full and medium. I wouldn't say it's 100% full, but you could probably build it up, which I will try for you guys. But yeah, the undertone is perfect. The match is perfect so far. But of course, we'll have to see if it oxidizes at all. Now, 18 shades is a decent amount, but I definitely do wish there are more shades. But then again, they could be launching more shades if they find that this foundation is doing good. I know some companies will do that. Well, they'll only launch a certain amount of shades, and then if the foundation does good and a lot of people like it, then they'll add more, which totally makes sense. It covered up. I had like a little scab right there, and it covered that up. Awesome. The way this looks on my skin, and I'm not being like dramatic, I 100% mean this, the way it looks on my skin is like smooth and flawless. And that could definitely be the primer, but I don't know, it looks so good. Alright, so I pumped out about like 2.5 pumps or so, and that was more than enough to cover my face. But I'm just going to pump out a little bit more and see if I can build up the coverage, which I don't really need to, but I just want to see if it like gets patchy or starts to cake up or anything. But yeah, I definitely think this foundation is like medium to full coverage, because I really don't have to go in with a second layer. I'm just curious to see what it's gonna look like once I build it up. And it's looking fine. It looks smooth. It looks airbrushed almost. And it's laying on the skin fine. It's not clinging to any spots or anything. I am gonna go ahead and put a little bit down my neck, just in case it oxidizes. I have it down my neck so it doesn't look too obvious. It hasn't settled into any fine lines or anything. My upper lip looks really good. Usually I have an issue with my upper lip looking a little bit dry. You can still see my pores right here, but honestly, I expect that with every foundation. Honestly, at this point, like, nothing can fix the pores right there. It's just always gonna show. But let me see if I can try to push some product in there and get that covered. So personally, I'm not a matte finish kind of girl. I prefer more of like that like satin finish. For a matte foundation, this looks really, really good. I've tried matte foundations in the past that are just like, whoa girl. But it just looks flawless. It looks smooth. And I didn't have any issues trying to cover up this area. I can't cover up the pores like right in here, but that's kind of expected. But I did get the pores covered right in like this area. I just took like the little pointy side of my sponge and I patted it in there. Now when I did that, some of the products kind of moved a little bit, but no biggie. I was able to fix that. But so yeah, it's definitely close to full coverage. You can still see, you can't see it on camera, but in person you can still see a little bit of my breakout right there, like that I've got going on. It does feel a little bit tacky. I am going to set it with a powder because I always set all my foundations with powder. I can't not do it. It feels a little bit tacky, but not as tacky as I've felt other foundations feel. Pressing on my skin, it's not coming off of my fingers, which is really good. Of course, if I drag it, it probably would, but just doing this, it's not coming off, which is good to know. But so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and I will be right back. I just wanted to hop on really quick because I'm doing my concealer, and I'm having some issues where when I blend it, it's taking the foundation off. And all I'm trying to do is blend in my concealer, but I'm hoping I can fix that with a little bit of concealer. That made it a little bit better. It's still kind of like patchy in that area, but my pores right there came back out, so I'm hoping maybe some powder will kind of fill in those pores. Okay, so for my makeup, I went super natural, so I'll just show you guys really quick what I used. I used the Jeffree Star Concealer in C3, the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder and Translucent. the Maybelline City Bronzer in 100, and I use that as my bronzer and also just a little bit in my crease. And then for blush, I use the Lorac Spectra blush. For highlight, I use the Kokie Cosmetics Soft Glow Highlighter in Gleaming, and the texture of this reminds me a lot of the ColourPop Super Shock highlighters and the Physicians Formula Butter highlighters. So if you like those highlighters, then you'll definitely like this. And it's in the shade Gleaming, if I didn't already say that. And then for my eyes, I just used MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. And then for my brows, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Gel in Soft Brown. I forgot to mention the lip color I used. It's MAC Hue, which is actually discontinued. I literally have like a little nub left, but I love this lipstick, so that's what I used. But overall, I really like this foundation. The only downside is once it sets, it sets. You cannot go in and blend again, which I made that mistake. Especially with my concealer, I laid it down and I went to blend it out. And then I tried to blend this area, which I showed you guys earlier, and it just wasn't working out for me. Overall, it looks pretty good, but I will show you guys what it looks like up close on my iPhone camera. Okay, so I had to come sit in front of my vanity because the lighting back there when I use my phone is really bad. But this is what the foundation looks like. I'll show you guys up close. It looks really good. I love the way it looks right here on my nose. It looks like flawless, like Facetune, like no pores, nothing. The only issue is the pores right there showing up and on this side. Like I feel like, I don't know if it's the foundation, if it's the primer, like maybe I didn't put enough primer in those areas. But I just feel like the foundation was not having it. I almost want to go back in with the foundation to try to cover up those areas, but I also don't want to get cakey. Also, the other area I had kind of issues with was right here, like I showed you guys earlier. I think what happened is the foundation set, and then I put the concealer on, and I was trying to blend it right here, and it kind of just took the foundation or the concealer off. I feel like I fixed it a little bit. It was a lot worse earlier, but yeah, it doesn't feel dry, it doesn't feel matte, it doesn't feel like a matte foundation. It feels comfortable, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing any makeup. But yeah, it doesn't feel too bad. It feels pretty good. I think I am gonna do some Fix Plus though, just to see if it will kind of help sync everything together so it doesn't look like it's sitting on top of the skin, because this, I don't feel like it's the most natural looking foundation. You can definitely tell I'm wearing it. I feel like it did oxidize like a touch, like a little bit. Like up on my forehead it matches because my forehead is like really tan, but down here I'm like super pale. So I feel like it did oxidize a little bit, but nothing crazy. Like it's definitely like doable. But so yeah, it's really just my nose that's the issue, which it usually is, my nose, but otherwise it's pretty good. So I am gonna go ahead and spray a little bit of MAC Fix Plus to see if it helps just like mix everything together. I don't use this as a setting spray because me personally, it doesn't help my makeup last longer whatsoever. I just like the way it kind of helps everything mix, like powders and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray some of this and see what it does. Okay, so I feel like the Fix Plus helped kind of melt everything together. I think for next time, I'll make sure to really focus some like pore filling product right in here. Like literally my pores there are so bad that any pore filling product usually doesn't work in that area. But next time I'll try to focus more product than I did to see if that helps a little bit. This spot right here where I had an issue with actually looks better after the Fix Plus. Yeah, it looks better, but I'll just, like I said, I'll keep those things in mind, like the pore filling thing, and I'll keep in mind just to make sure to blend my concealer nice and quick after my foundation is done and not let it sit for too long. But yeah, so far so good. I actually really like it. I feel like just besides those few little things, I do really enjoy this foundation. I like the way it looks on the skin, even though it is a matte and I'm not a matte foundation kind of gal. I do like it. So I'll be curious to see how long it lasts. Hopefully throughout the day it will just look better and better and better, because I love when you put on foundation and it looks pretty good, but then throughout the day it just looks better. So we're just gonna call the check-in time 3:14. I finished my foundation about a half hour ago, but we'll just say 3:14. I'm super excited to see how this foundation is gonna wear, and so yeah, I'll see you guys in a few hours. Alright, so it's currently 6:22 right now, so it's been about 3 hours or so. And taking a look at my foundation, it looks really good. You can see some oil starting to peek through, but I'm not an oily mess. It's only been 3 hours, so I'll be curious to see what it looks like, you know, further on. But so far so good. It hasn't come off anywhere. My forehead isn't oily whatsoever. Just my nose is starting to get a little bit shiny, but nothing crazy. It's still really matte. But let's look at it up close. Yeah, up close I just have the usual like creasing on the upper lip right here and a little bit on my chin, but everything else looks fabulous and I can't wait to see what it looks like further on. But so far so good. I'm really happy with it, and so yeah, I'll see you guys in a few more hours. Alrighty guys, so this is my last and final check-in. It's currently 11:09, so about like 3 more minutes for it to be, or not, how many more minutes? I don't know, a few more minutes to be a total of 8 hours completely. But I am so impressed with this foundation. Looking at it up close, I'm oily, but I'm not oily enough where I have to powder. Like usually when I get to this stage, I'm okay with it. I can deal with it. I actually don't mind it. I kind of prefer it because usually this is when my foundation looks a little bit better. This is when it's kind of sunk into the skin, kind of really settled and that kind of stuff. So I actually prefer my skin to have a little bit of oil like this. But this is crazy because all the other foundations I've ever tried in my collection, I'm usually so oily at this point where I have to powder or blot. But this, I can get away with. Like this isn't half as bad as what other foundations have done to me. So I definitely agree with it being a matte foundation. I agree that it stays matte. Usually I get pretty oily on my forehead and there's no oil on my forehead whatsoever, literally nothing. The only place I have oil, I don't even have oil on my chin. It's literally just my nose, like right here. That's the only spot where I'm oily, which is very unlike me. I'm usually oily in my forehead, my nose, and my chin, but just my nose, so that's kind of crazy. It didn't smudge or anything. Like it looks good. Like it looks like I just put it on, but not really because I'm a little bit more oily, if that makes any sense. I don't know, it looks so good. It didn't wipe off anywhere. It didn't transfer on anything as far as I know of. I mean, I have mascara under my eyes now, but it looks really good, and I feel like the lights are exaggerating the oiliness because in person, like I hardly look oily. But yeah, overall I am super obsessed. I love the way this foundation kind of set into my skin. Just for craps and giggles, I'm gonna powder it just to see what it looks like, because sometimes if you powder foundations when they're kind of oily, they can cake up and get gross and weird. So I just want to powder it just to see what it's gonna do. After this part of the video, I'm taking my makeup off because it's 11:12 and I'm exhausted and I have work tomorrow. But yeah, I just want to powder it and kind of see what it does. I'm the kind of person where I don't normally powder my foundations throughout the day. I usually just let it get oily because I usually don't have time to powder. So I usually just let it go. But I'm just gonna see what happens. I don't even need to do my forehead, it's like already matte. And honestly, it looks the same. After powdering it, the foundation looks the same from when I first put it on. It doesn't look any different, it doesn't look cakey. Actually, on the tip of my nose right here, it is starting to come off. But that could be because my powder brush going like this, it could be like kind of taking it off a little bit. Which honestly, it's kind of expected at this point, having this foundation on for this long. If you take a little bit more powder on your brush and just go like this, and that fixed it right up. It looks good as new. My lips were so dry I couldn't stand anymore, so I put some chapstick on. If you guys have oily skin and you're looking for something that's matte and it's gonna last all day, I definitely recommend you give this foundation a try. You can't beat it for the $10 price point. I'm just so happy with the way it looks on the skin and how long it lasted and how it kept my oil at bay. And yeah, I just really like this foundation. I definitely think you guys should give it a try. If you have tried it or you're going to try it, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be super curious to hear your thoughts and opinions. But so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below and give this video a big thumbs up. Also, if you're new to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!